Greetings everyone, welcome to Dark Souls 2. My name is Alarian, and this is the second video in the playthrough portion of the Save for Souls series. In our last video, we went to Majula for the first time and entered the Forest of Fallen Giants. We cleared out to the first bonfire and some of the areas prior to that, just to make sure that we were able to get our Silver Eagle Kite Shield and Mace from Majula, and we did manage to level one time, bringing up our strength to 12. This video, we're going to proceed deeper into the Forest of Fallen Giants, and we're going to meet the first, actually, we're going to meet the last boss for the first time. His name is the Pursuer, and we're going to get a good look at what his abilities are and ways to fight him in this first attempt. However, I'm going to give you a quick spoiler. I am going to die in this attempt, so I'm not going to beat the Pursuer my first time running into him, and that's okay. Alright, so as we come down this ladder, we're going to look around, and over here is a gate, and you can't open that gate yet. That's actually the shortcut to the boss, so we're going to be looking to get to that gate. However, there is this enemy who's come to see me, so we'll wait for his third attack and punish him. Alright, and as I said in prior videos, if you see an enemy sitting on the ground or lying down looking dead, but you don't remember killing them, chances are they're not dead. So, as I come over this bridge, I'm going to see another one down on my right. Seems like a trap. So as I come over here, I'm going to look over, and yes, he's standing back up. So we're going to take him out. I'm going to see in this video, I'm going to switch back and forth using the Y button to one-hand, two-hand. And this is actually a good time to practice that skill. Just getting used to two-handing weapons and finding out, how quickly can you switch, when it's appropriate to do so. And the primary purpose for going to two-hand is when you have a good opportunity to do extra damage safely, like with these enemies who are lying down. They can't respond immediately, so they're good to just use the two-hand option to kill them. However, most of the time you're going to want to be one-handing just because it's safer to do so, and you want to keep that opportunity to block with your left hand. So as I come through this area, there's a large open space, and I look around, I do see that there's an archer over on the right side. However, I'm going to follow the route because I think the route seems like it's more appropriate, more the directed path through the dungeon. Now, I'm not going to go down that area in these videos, and you're welcome to explore a little bit more down there, and there is stuff to find. However, I'm going to move on with the primary portion of the area. Alright, so I can see a couple of enemies up here. They're not facing me, so this is a good chance to practice trying to get in some backstabs. So I'm going to take him down, and I've got one more. Now, as I said, I noticed that there were some enemies behind me, and I want to make sure that they're not following. They did see me, they did aggro on me, but I don't want to necessarily forget that they are there. So occasionally I'm going to go back and check and just make sure that there are none coming. Alright, looks like we're okay. However, I can see this guy high up on the right over there. And first thought should be either he's going to jump down on me or he's going to use some sort of ranged attack. And as I approach, yep, he's going to chuck firebombs at me. So, let's see, can I get him to drop down? Because some enemies who use ranged attacks will drop off of their ledges or aggressively try and attack you. But this guy seems like he's content just to sit up there. So let's see if I can throw something at him. And apparently I didn't do very well in the shot put when I was in school, so I can't actually get at him with the Witching Urn. And at this point I don't actually have any other ranged attacks, so I'm kind of out of options. Alright, so looking around. And you'll notice over on my left there are these barrels up against the wall. Now, if you're paying attention to the geography of the map, you should realize that you went down a level, came up a level, and just kind of did a circle around, so you're actually very near the bonfire. And if you were astute, then you might realize that that wall is actually a shortcut. So one of the things I was looking to do here is see if I can open up that wall. Now those types of barrels, those black, look like heavier barrels than the standard ones, they're usually explosive. So I'm going to see if these Witching Urns, which do magic damage, can actually detonate the wall. And here's a tip. No, they can't. So I have to deal with this guy directly, which means I'm going to go up this ladder. And this ladder is actually where we're going to encounter the Pursuer for the first time. As you can see when I go up, there's a bird going to fly overhead with a big knight in his hands. And that is the Pursuer. And this is a one-time chance to kill him early in the game. And there he is. So I'm going to go into this fight, looking to see if I can kill him. And the first attack that you see right here is this Curse Blade, and something you want to be very mindful of. It is a large, unblockable, slow attack, and his blade actually turns blue when he goes to do it. And if it hits you, what's going to happen is he's probably going to kill you outright at this point in the game. But as I said, it's unblockable, and the primary ability of it is that it will curse you if it hits, meaning it's going to essentially do the same thing that dying will do for you in the game. It's going to reduce your overall total health, and it's also going to send you into a hollow state. So you do want to avoid that at all costs. Now, as with all of the Pursuer's attacks, the one thing you never want to do is dodge directly away, and that goes for the Curse Blade as well because it tracks. So as you can see here, you want to dodge to the side or into the side with him when he's doing the Curse Blade. And you want to do it when the animation starts to come forward to aggressively attack you. You don't want to do it too early, otherwise you may get caught by the tracking. However, if you do it early enough, you may be able to do 2 dodges and still get away from it. So when the Curse Blade's coming, you want to wait for it to go forward, and then you want to dodge in and to the side, or just directly to the side, and it should miss you every time. Now you can see I'm following what is my standard way of dealing with the Pursuer here, and that's to stay away from him and force out that attack right here. There, he throws up his shield, he throws back his sword, and he glides into you and does a sort of uppercut with his sword. And when he does that, you want to start moving in towards him and to the right. And then when he gets close to you and he's about to attack, at this point with a non-great shield, you want to dodge towards him and to his right. So you get in on his shield side, and if he doesn't follow up with another attack, you get an opening to get a good swing in. Now, keep in mind, he can do other attacks, so usually follow it up with a shield, and then he has a third attack, which is either an overhead or a spinning attack he can do after that. So you want to watch and make sure that he's not actually going to do a second attack, and if he doesn't, you can easily get one shot in. Now you see there I made a couple of mistakes, and I dodged away twice, and I got lucky that he didn't hit me. Again, you always want to dodge in and to the right with a Pursuer. It's really his blind side, and it's where he's most vulnerable. And you can see here I did that just fine. And it's very important with the Pursuer not to get greedy. Yes, it might look like you can get 2 swings in, and generally you can on a lot of his attacks, but at this point you're going to be really hurting on endurance. You're not going to have full damage mitigation if you need to block him. So it's better just to take the one hit and get away from him and force out his attack again. Alright, so I can see the second attack. I took he dodged away. Alright, so I roll in. And roll in. And there is another attack he can do. He doesn't do it very often, thankfully. Roll in. Now I'm going to heal here. And you can see at this point, I've actually got him down to about half health. And this is a boss that a lot of people say is very hard. And keep in mind, all we've got is our early Mason Shield. We got Majula, and we've only leveled 1 time. So getting him down to this point, even making the mistakes I'm making, shows that he's really not nearly as hard as people think he is. However, you're going to see me make a big mistake in a minute, and that's going to get me killed. And it's the same mistake I told you not to make, which is dodging directly away from his attacks. So roll in, got hit, and rolled away, and got hit. And that's the first time I've died on this playthrough. Alright, so we'll respawn at the bonfire, but we already opened up... Did we open up that wall? No, we didn't open up that wall. So I gotta go around again. Alright, so we're going to head back down the, I almost said elevator. Now you see that I'm able to slide down very quickly on the stairs. You do that by holding the B button, the sprint button, and just holding down and B, and that'll allow you to go down the ladder very quickly. If you want to sprint up the elevator, you can do the same thing, hold B and go up. However, going up does consume endurance, whereas sliding down does not, and that makes sense, of course. Alright, so we're going to be a little bit more aggressive coming through here this time, because we already know what's here. And that ladder that I took to get to the Pursuer, that only occurs one time. So if the Pursuer's already beaten you at that point, or if you've beaten him, you will not see him again. So if you died there, it's safe to go up there and grab your Bloodstain. If you actually beat the Pursuer, he will not appear at his later normal boss spot in the game. And you will still get all of your normal rewards for beating him as a boss if you beat him here in his first appearance. So there's no special reason not to try and kill him here when he appears. Now, you can make him go away. You can make him appear and go away by simply falling off of that ledge and coming back down here onto the normal walkway. He'll simply despawn, and then he'll just appear normally at his regular boss area. So now I'm looking to see if I have a firebomb, because I want to open this up, and now I do have a firebomb. If I didn't, I could use the fire longsword that I had obtained earlier in the game in the last video. And hitting these with a fire longsword would detonate them, but I would take damage. Now, at this point, I don't think it's enough damage to actually kill me. I think I could have survived it, and it probably would have been a better option just to take the damage if I didn't have a firebomb, just to make sure that we have this shortcut open to the bonfire. Alright, so 1, 2, roll of 3, hit him. Alright, and we can proceed a little further now. Now, I am starting to float a little bit of souls. I actually think I have enough to level here once, maybe twice, but not quite twice, I think. So I need to start being really aware of that. I don't want to waste the opportunity to level and possibly die and not be in a position to get my Bloodstain back. However, I am going to come in here just for you guys, because I didn't really think that I could pull this room off at this point in the game. Yes, it's possible. However, this is obviously a trap. When you look into that door on the right and you see a bunch of ballistas pointing at you, that should be your first indication that maybe you don't want to go in there right off the bat. However, I wanted to show you guys what's in there and why you always want to be careful of anything that looks like a trap. And here's the second time I'm going to die in this playthrough, and thankfully it's the last time I'm going to die in this playthrough. So going in there, you need to be aware, if there's a bunch of ballistas pointing out the door, they're probably there for a reason, and they're probably a warning that something bad is going to happen if you go in there. Does that mean you shouldn't go in there? No, you can try it out. I mean, obviously it's not far to the bonfire, and you should actually, give it a good attempt. But there are items you can get in there. However, I think there's a locked door that you can't access for a little bit once you go in. Alright, so now as I went out on the walkways, I wanted to get rid of that guy with the firebombs. However, to get to him, I have to go through the ladder, so I'm going to have to go back and kill these guys. And watch out for when they try and use those shield attacks. When they swing back their left arm and attack you with their shield, that's a guard break. And if you're guarding when they hit you with that, it's going to do a very, very large amount of endurance damage to you. So there's a very good chance you could be staggered by that attack. And frankly, you actually, if you can't dance away from it in a lot of situations, and the Pursuer is even one of those situations, you might be better off just taking the damage from the shield rather than being staggered by the guard break itself with your when it hits your shield, just because being staggered is potentially more dangerous than just taking a bit of damage. And so 1, 2, rule of 3, and we'll hit him. Alright, this time when I go down, I am not going to be going into that room, because that was already a bad idea. I can always come back and deal with that another time. Alright, so I'm going to gather up my Bloodstain. Up here you can see on the right there's an NPC sitting here. And this is Mild-Mannered Pate. He is a reference to Patches from the prior 2 games, although much less likely to get you killed than Patches would. And you want to talk to him before and after you proceed through the area that you're about to enter here. He's going to tell you that this appears to be a trap, which is something he keeps telling you when he does appear throughout the rest of the game. And then you can talk to him before and after those, and that'll help move his storyline along. Now, I came in here a little too aggressively, because I didn't notice this guy was hiding over on the left as I came in. So I immediately have to deal with 2 hollows and a hollow soldier. So I need to be a little careful here. And I attacked a little early because he was in a sort of random tantrum swing animation like that. And that end up taking a lot of damage. So now I really have to be careful. Wait for them to attack, back up, use my life gem. And then wait for the life gem to kick in before I can actually go ahead and kill this guy off. So that was really sloppy, and I think you can actually draw a couple of those enemies out before the gate closes down and you're locked into this area. So I'm going to be a little bit more careful as I go through here, because I took a lot of damage and that was wasteful. So shields up. And of course there's a door here, so as I go through I really want to make sure that I'm not walking into a spear that's just waiting for me to step through. Alright, and this looks suspicious, especially since the ground's all beat up here. I honestly wish that that had been a tell towards, say, a firebombing enemy or a fire trap or something, but it's just decoration at this point. However, as I got up near the edge, these three guys came around the corner and attacked me, so I immediately run away to where I have more space to deal with them. Fighting three enemies in a very tight corridor is not really ideal, so make it work a little bit more for me. Try and separate them. Alright, now we're down to 2, and it looks like the other one is actually tethered, so that worked out in my favor. So I can take him out safely, and the third guy's trying to get away, and I want to get back to him before he finishes his tether animation, so I'm going to rush him down. Alright, now I can see this item here, but it's next to stairs, and there's guys on the stairs, apparently. Yep. So that item's bait, and I don't necessarily want to try and grab it, because it looks like, yep, one of them is definitely firing arrows. So I'll wait for his friend to come down. I can probably take him here safely. However, arrows, so I need to get away. Alright, and there was even another one. However, it doesn't look like he wants to come down the stairs. So I'm going to keep my shield up, I'm going to approach the archer. And he's going to switch to melee, I think. Yeah, there he goes. And the other guy left, so we should be okay to fight this one. Third attack. Alright. Now I can grab that item safely. Which is an aromatic ooze, and one of the odd items that I don't think I've even used on any of my playthroughs yet. Unfortunately, the game has a few items that you may or may not use at all in the game, even though you get a bunch of them. Alright, so waiting for him to give me an opening. And here's the guard break, which is great because it is very short range and it's very slow, so it's easy to get away from, and it gives us a nice chance to do some damage. Alright, and there's no one around the corner. It looks safe. Alright, and there's a hole in the wall. It doesn't look like I'm able to jump across, so it looks like I'm just meant to drop off. And here's Pate again, and we want to talk to him, because when we do, he's going to give us an item called a small white soapstone, which is an item that's going to... Oh, he gives us the full white soapstone, sorry. That is the item that we're going to use in order to get ourselves summoned, so that we can make a little bit of extra... souls just by helping other players in co-op. Alright, so there's this guy guarding a door up here, but I was attacked from the high left side. That means that I don't want to fight him right here, because I could get hit from the air. So I want to look around and see if there's a way to make this a little safer. So we'll take out this guy who's just sitting down on the job there. I'll come near the weird tree. Item just hanging out here. Alright, it looks like I passed the ladder, so we're going to go up the ladder. And this should give me access to those guys who were shooting at me from up high left. And there they are. Alright, so I got a crossbow now. Do I have any bolts? Can I use this? And the answer to that is no. So I'm going to need to get some bolts before I do that. And that's probably a really good idea. If you want to come into this area, grab some bolts before you come. You can actually use the crossbow right now, but I don't have it, so I know these two guys are in the windows. I don't see a good way to deal with them. Now, if I had a crossbow, I could shoot them in the face from here, safely, and they couldn't attack back, but looks like I'm going to have to go in, so I'm going to need to be really careful. So I'm going to stay all the way over to the side, and looks like I only got one, and that's good. So I'm going to wait for him to finish, and, yep, there's another one. Looks like there's two over there. So with two, I'm going to have to be really careful. We're in a really, really tight space here. Now, one thing we could do is jump out the window on the edge and force them to come down after me. But I want to take them out because I'm not sure if they're going to chase me or if they'll just stay up here in the window and attack me while I'm trying to deal with a big turtle-looking knight. So, being really careful, just waiting for an opportunity. Alright, we got him down. Now, I should whack this chest, but obviously I didn't. Just to make sure there's no mimics. Alright, now we can safely exit this area, and we're back in the open area with the ironclad knight, who looks like a giant turtle with a hammer. So I've aggroed him, and this is the point when I noticed that, oh, he looks dangerous, and I've got 3,200 souls. I'm floating a lot of souls. I'm not very far away from the bonfire. This might be a good opportunity to just say, you know what, I'm going to cut my I'm going to make my chances better of getting through here with my levels. So let's go back and level up. So I'm going to head back to Majula here, and I'm going to use these souls. And this is one thing I think you always should do, is notice how many souls you have. Consider, is this a good time to go back? Can I deal with the respawn of the enemies? Is it better that I have the souls spent, or do I want to carry those around and make it a little less safe? And in this case, we're going to go and just make it safer. So I'm going to use these souls, and it looks like I can level 3 times to even up my support attributes a little bit. And I think that looks pretty good. Yeah. And we're going to come back next time, and we're going to proceed through the Ironclad Knight and on to the first boss. As always, I hope this video helped, and I hope to see you in the next video.